Hey, good morning, everybody. This is John with Pro Craps, Coffee and Craps, again on Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Good show coming today, I think. I'm going to talk a little bit about, we're going to keep talking about trends. I think it's kind of the theme of the week. It's turning into the theme of the week. I wanted to transition into more come versus place bet talk, but there's lots of questions coming in, and I thought we'd just kind of stick on topic here. And I'll use a little bit of the come, don't come logic today as we go through. And actually got a little fun for you because, when I was at Greg's place and Greg and I played together, we did a couple of things. We were just kind of goofing around a little bit. And according, just as you'd expect, Greg stayed on his plan. I was like, hey, let's try this, let's try that. And I showed him the Patrick system. I showed him, I played the Andre for a minute. And I got thinking yesterday about the Andre and a couple of things that it lets us do, which is lets us explore trending a little bit. And it also helps us cheapen up a $25 table. And I get a lot of emails and just requests, and I'm sure that Jeremy at Color Up does, and maybe all you guys do as well. Folks want to know, how the hell do you play on a $25 table when you're a low budget person, right? Not everybody's bringing $5,000 to the casino or $2,000 every time you go. And to play at a $25 level, you need at least $1,000 to play any kind of, just to get $100 out there in action 10 times. If you're bringing 500 or your budget is 300 or 400, as it would be on a $5 or $10 table, what do you do in a world where you're surrounded by $25 tables? So we're going to use the Andre today. Hopefully you can predict how it's going to happen, but we'll use the Andre system to sort of lessen the blow at a higher limit table. And I think in so doing, we can also talk a little bit about how trends work. We can do the same. Two things have to happen before we jump into a thing, trend spotting system. And we can actually compare it. I'll do a little bit of comparing side by side with somebody who's doing it more of a math-based system. And it's not going to be the greatest comparison because the money won't work perfectly just because of the way that odds work. But I think you'll get a chance to see what it looks like to kind of just follow the trend a little bit and also play by the math a little bit. And we'll work this on one side can work the Andre the way I picture it. One side I think cannot. However, I think we'll be okay here. So why don't we talk through what I'm thinking about here. So I'm going to give you some notes here. The trending, obviously, we're going to say, we know the words from yesterday. Trending says since this, maybe that, right? Because a couple of things have happened in a row, we think that maybe we're going to be the start of a bunch of those things happening in a row. If you recall from yesterday's show, we did analysis of a couple of trend spotting strategies with win craps. And really, what they were interesting because they won money. But the interesting thing to me was the baseline of how often you see these big spikes in things happening 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row. You're looking for those things to make a little bit of a splash if you can do it. That's the theory of a trend better. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to be a trend better. I'm just saying if you want to follow trends and make money in those big waves, this is what you're looking for. This is the way that we're going to try and roll through it. How do you catch a trend, or what do you do when you catch a trend? A lot of things you can do, right? You can slow walk a trend, and we might do some of that today. You can be more aggressive as the trend strengthens. If the wave gets bigger, you can start putting more of your profits out there. Again, less risk for you, more money out there and play. You can go hard, you can regress, you can ladder up, you can find sister bets to it. There's lots of things that you can do if you're in a trend. The trick is spotting it. Now, the math way of playing doesn't care about trends. The math way of playing literally is all about what is likely to happen based on probability. So we're going to do a little bit of a window into what that might look like versus a trend better today at the table. So that's my lead in here. Let's look at a couple of chats before I go back to the thing. Greg, I missed your show last night. I was actually, this happened on your show last night. I missed it because I was interviewing Ed Robinson for the Dice Control series. So as you know, I'm in the middle of a series of dice control videos. And the last one that we did, I did the slow motion breakdown, which of course sparks a bunch of conversations. And I wanted to interview a couple of people who I consider to be trustworthy, well-spoken experts on the topic, not snake oil salesmen. So I brought in Ed Robinson, who we first met during the Crafts-a-thon. I interviewed him for 2 hours last night, actually. And Ed actually sent me he sent me 4 videos, 4 slow motion videos of his own shot that we looked at. And he was like, that's a bad shot. Like, here's what happened. Here's what I did wrong. And we actually looked at like what he looks for in his own shooting. It was great, but it happened at the same time that Dave's same bet show with Wager was going and the same time that Greg was going live. So I missed everything that I wanted to see last night. Today I'll come back through and watch a bunch of stuff to get caught up. But if you had a 27 roller, Greg, that is awesome. We love live action. Is great. The days that I do the live, just trying to roll, and I may make Fridays like live rolling day. Like Fridays might be like John goes to the casino day, and we'll just sort of roll out whatever strategy from the week that was, and we'll just roll it for the whole 45 minutes. But live rolls are great. We're getting here. The difference between a come bet and a don't come bet is 5 cents in house edge. They're basically 50-50 bets. The thing that the trend gets you on here, and I think I'm going to show this out here. This is where the Andre comes into play. 50-50 chance overall of your bankroll being affected by it. But in the moments, the come out roll moment especially, you can get a trend of 5 straight come out winners, but still be a trending dark table, right? The pass line can win 10 times in a row in the come out 7s, yet the shooters aren't making their points. So which trend are you hopping on there? You hopping on the shooters aren't making points trend, or are you hopping on the come out winner trend? And that's where the casino will get you. Like, that's the mental game that you have to play, the gymnastics that you do, and it always just kind of hurts there. I love this comment, how I always, when I have a bed roll that I sneer. I know what you meant by that, but I read it as funny. And Ed said this last night. He said, I asked him about the perfect roll. Like, what is the perfect roll? The perfect roll is, the dice land perfectly flat. They hit the very bottom of that wall, maybe missing the diamonds, and just come back down and land flat. If you can, they call it a kill shot. The kill shot is the perfect roll. Anything less than a kill shot has got elements of randomness in it. There's just no getting around it. If you can pull a kill shot off, you can stay within your dice set, and that's kind of what their goal is. He's like, I know the second it leaves my fingers if it's going to be good or not. Like, the second it leaves my hand, I know, over-rotated, this, that, whatever. He's like, I can tell within the variance level where I'm at after throwing 100,000 rolls. That's totally true. So anyway, Hal's asking the guys minimum lay bet on a 410. On a $15 table, you can lay 30. Most places. On a $10 table, they want you to lay 40 to win 20. So that's it, in my experience. Okay, here we go. Let's run back to the table and do some Andre rolling and look and get the. I guess my camera's not on, so hold on a second. Give us a second here. There we go. Let's get it straightened down a little bit. All right. So let's look at the Andre system, and I want to explain what that is first. Okay, before we do anything else, I got some bets out here from last night's practice session. So the basics of the Andre system, and this is the way we're going to start out by talking about how do we turn a $25 table into a $10 table. And the way that you do that is by a lot of hedging. And the simplest thing you can do, let's take this example, the do-we-don't system, okay? An equal bet on both lines. If you do an equal bet on both lines, you're basically at risk to one number, which is the 12. Because the don't pass will win on the 2 and the 3. The pass line will win on the 7 and the 11. The 12 is the one that's uncovered. If the 12 is a push on the don't pass, it's a loss over here. So the only thing you're at risk for is the one way to roll the 12. Not the worst thing in the world. But you're still at a $25 table. Now, the Andre system says, well, if you want to make this table a $10 table and you want to bet the pass line, just do that. You can bet 25 on the don't and 35 on the pass, and you've made this a $10 table. At risk right now, aside from the 12, which is a kind of a shot in the dark there, you're at risk to $10. And in fact, on the come out, you're going to win $10 on the 7 or the 11. And I can show you that. If the 7 were to roll, let's get our dice here. Here's an 11. Here's an 11. The 11 were to roll, you would lose this bet, but this bet would win $25 plus 10. You can replace that and rack $10. So on the 7 or the 11, in the Andre from the pass line side, you win. if you Andre'd the don't pass side, the opposite would happen. The 7 would take 35 and pay you, whoops, wrong color chip, and pay you 25. You'd lose 10 bucks, but your overall risk at a $25 table is at $10. So think of the Andre as a way that you can cap your bets like the 6 and the 8. If you do it this way here at a $25 table, you're basically picking a side. I want to be a pass line player and I only have $10 table money. I bought in for 500, fine. You can do that all day long. You can bet the pass line with an Andre style stack all day long. And you turn an expensive table, a $25 minimum table, into something you can afford. Now you got to put 50, 60 bucks out there, but only 10 of it's really at risk when you think about this. And I think that's a nice thing for you to think about if you're trying to play and you're in a world where you just can't afford to make all the bets you want to make. You're going to have to make some concessions. One of them is you're going to turn yourself into a come, don't come, pass, don't pass type of bettor. And you can hedge your way through this thing and get your bets out there. By the same token, if you want to get some box number action at a $25 table, you can't do it by doing a place bet for 30 and a lay bet for, I mean, you can, right? If you want to lay the 8 for 30, the 7 comes, you win a quarter, you lose 30, so you're going to lose $5. If the 8 comes, you're going to win 35 and lose 30, so you win 5 as your net. You can do that. You'll be there all day. I mean, that's a hedge that you can probably find a way of pulling off. A better way maybe to do that would be to follow suit and come through the don't come and the come in the same progression. Let's say I wanted to get a $10 don't come bet going. You could do a $25 come bet and a $30 don't come bet. Let them both travel to a number. And now what you've got is a $10, for example, no 8. Straight up. Okay. Or you could reverse that and do a $30 come, $25 don't come, let them both travel, let's say to the 6. And now you've got a $35 come 6 and a $25 no 6. Effectively, you're betting $10 on the 6 in this case, right? That's going to be using the come, don't come with a laddered Andre system. So you can use this cap on those come, don't come bets to kind of get what you want in terms of the dollars amount in action. You can make it a $5 table if you want by doing that. Totally fine. Just know that you're not going to be able to just lay in place and make this work. You've got to use come, don't come to get the flat bets and use the caps as the money you have at risk. So think about when you're trying to get into an expensive table, using the come and don't come. They're great tools to get you into action, and you can control the amount that you have at risk by coming into it with an Andre-style hedge on either one. I think it's kind of a cool way to play, actually, at a lower limit table or at a higher limit table for a lower budget player. So I wanted to get that out there today because we're going to do that a little bit here on the pass and don't pass. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the trend spotting on the pass line. Yesterday, I put it out there that we can do one of two things, right? You can wait for two things to happen and then go in. So if you were to go, maybe bypass all of this, there's no need to be in the play at all until you're going to make a decision as a trend bettor. But when you do make your decision, and again, at a higher limit table, you can come in here with this and say, well, the table's going dark. We're going to go that way. We're going to come out in the Andre, and I can move my cap based on where I see the trend happening. And in fact, if it's a stronger trend, I may go pass line and get froggy and drop a quarter behind it if it's really a strong trend. If I'm going to do the other way and maybe play the math game might say, well, we're going to do this, a straight up do we don't. And then I'm going to lay or place odds based on what point comes out. Okay. That's the only way. So GW, yeah, the come don't come will work if the levels are different. So maybe you caught that late, but if you're going to come don't come, let's do it one more time while you're asking the question. If I'm going to go come for 35, don't come for a quarter, and they both go here and here, effectively the greens cancel out, but I've got a $10 bet going. At a high limit table, I can lower my risk to 10 bucks by doing that. That's the reason why I would ever go come, don't come, just to get my table limit to be manageable for me. I have less money at risk, more money in action, if that makes sense. Excuse me. So looking at the mathematical way to view this, the Andre, I know that you normally do this with one bet higher than the other bet based on whatever the choice is going to be. You can do this here simply and layer place odds, right? If you get a favorable point for the mathematical player, a 6 or an 8 favorable point, you may go with 30 or a quarter back here in odds. Let's say you're do-we-don't, and you pick your good odds. If it's a 4 or a 10, you're probably going to go here and lay 30 on the 4 or the 10. Mathematically, you're more likely to win the lay bet on the 4 or 10. Mathematically, you're more likely to win the odds bet on the 6 or the 8. The 5 and the 9, as I said before, they're basically Jan Brady numbers. You're not going to, the advantage is more on the dark side of these things, but it's not so big that I'm going to make a huge decision here. Especially if I'm low budget, probably going to ride that one out. So one player here can play this way. Let's just look at the number that comes and make a mathematical odds bet. The other person can kind of wait this thing out and move their cap to where they want to be based on the trend that they're finding at the table. And that's two ways to kind of attack a table with pure trend betting and or mathematical betting kind of side by side, two ways you can approach it. And again, I'm using this system here only to lower my risk at the table. These can be the same. Do we don't, nothing happens. When you get a favorable position, you're going to drop in either single or double or whatever odds based on table minimum. You're going to have to drop table minimum out here at some point to do this. So I'm going to try and roll this out and keep these two folks relatively in sync as best I can from a financial standpoint. What I don't want to do is have this person roll out with, 60 bucks in odds over here, and this guy's stuck with a $10 bet. Like, I don't want to go and skew the results to that degree. So we'll keep our odds over here pretty low. And this person may go in a little heavy. And in fact, this person may decide to come up here. If the trend starts winding a certain way, he may say, well, after 3 successive points, I'm coming through the come and doing some things. So we may get some action here. So let's get our bankrolls set up. I'm going to take these monies down. I'll get 2 players set up here with 400 bucks. That's what we're going to do. Let's get the lammers out of the way. We'll do 400 for both players. I should have had this set up ahead of time. 2, 3. There's 400. I think I miscounted. Yeah, I did. There's 400 for each player. I need some more greens to pay myself over here. Each player is also going to turn in 50 bucks for reds. I'll put them on this side of their rack just to kind of keep them easy to access for me. Okay, and I'll use a couple lammers here. I'll put them here just so we can use them. We can see them kind of in cycle. Out here, we'll put blacks for points missed and whites for points made. And we'll just keep track of trends for this top player. He'll play over here. The other player is going to go do we don't every time and play a math. We'll put him over here. He'll play the mathematical game, and just basically he's going to take odds on the 6 and 8. He's going to lay odds on the 4 and 10, and we'll scope him to. I think I'll do a quarter. We'll do it at the $25 level for him. Again, it's going to skew the money a little bit, but really what we're looking at is frequency of win versus the amount of win. Again, that's the way I'm going to approach this here. So I think somebody in chat says pay the dollar midnight tax on the come out. I could do that. I certainly could. I'm probably not going to do that now. Although I could. I still want to deal with change, frankly. But yeah, you're right. A dollar midnight saves this person over here from the inevitable 12 that I'm going to roll here. So let's get rolling. And I'm going to go ahead and watch and see for two things to happen before this other person comes into the game here. Let's go ahead and get this rolled out. Luckily, it was not a come out 12. The point's going to be a 9, though. And again, for this person here, the 9 and the 5 to me are, like I said, they're Jan Brady numbers. They aren't strong numbers either way. If I'm doing a purely mathematical game, I'm hunting the 6 and 8 and the 4 and 10, the 5 and the 9. I'm probably going to relax and let the roll resolve on. You might say the 5 and 9 get 1x odds on the pass line. The 6 and 8 get 2x odds on the pass line. If you're trending dark or whatever, the 4 and 10, of course, is going to get laid, full odds over here. The 5 and 9, I never have a strong feeling about those. I'm going to leave it sit, and this player is just going to agree to make no money on this roll until we have a side to pick. There's a 7, so it's our first dark side win. Nothing happens here. Points off. There's a come out 8, which is a favorable point for the mathematical player. So on the 8, we're probably going to go ahead and I'm just going to place 25 in odds to win 30. Again, we're looking for favorable numbers for us. There's a 5 coming out. Another 5. And there's the hard 8. Winner. So that turns this marker chip for us 1 to the white side. So we have 1 now consecutive made point. These two are going to be a wash, right? You're going to lose your don't pass. You're going to get paid on the pass line, and we'll get paid back here in our odds. This player now has got a little bit of a profit going. We're 1 in a row. Other players waiting to get in to see where this table's headed. There's a come out winner, which does nothing here. It's a total wash. Another come out winner. It's 2 naturals in a row. And Greg, I saw your comment earlier in the chat where you developed the Andre for ice cold tables and it helps with the come out roll. That's a perfect chance, right? Where that would have been great. That would have been great. And I see, Greg, you're saying this, 5 and 9 are highly favored don't plays. You're still a 3-2 favorite. I agree with that. I see 5 and 9s go both ways. And for me, I just never have a great feeling about them. So I sort of watch and see what happens with it. It's just, again, kind of the experiential thing for me. So now we're on the 4. Mathematical player is going to go 30 lay on the 4. Other players still wait to come in. If we hit our point, other player gets to come and play. That's a 6. And I'm also, by the way, keeping kind of just close tabs here on how many box numbers we're hitting. Just kind of a mental note if we're hitting lots or little. So far, both rolls have been less than 6. There's an 8, but 3 box numbers. Just because I want to know what kind of a groove we're in here, there's a 7 out. So again, the mathematical player has done well for himself. This makes our trend marker go dark for 1. That's going to pay straight up 15 on the odds. Pass line will lose. Don't pass will win. Those 2 bets go back to normal. And we're back to playing again. Coming out. There's a 9. Come out 9. Now, Greg, I'll take your advice here. Greg says the 9 is a strong don't play. Because we just won anyway, let's do it. Let's go out here with a $40 don't. We should do 30 to win 20 we'll do. Okay, 30 to win 20 on the don't, on the 5 and 9. The last point was not made, so maybe that is an indication. There's the 7 immediately, 0.7 out. So now we've got 2 darks in a row, which is good. This player here is going to have the pass line is going to lose. The don't pass is going to win. The odds bets are going to win 20 for 30. We'll replace that bet. We'll bring all this back to the house. And now this person is ready to play. The Andre person say, hey, I see something cool. I'm coming in, and I'm coming in with a $10 don't pass bet, essentially, right? We're going to Andre ourselves in here, again, making this for this person, this $25 table, a $10 table. He's going to come in, $10 don't bet. The other person, again, hunting down the odds plays. That's a 4. Come out 4. Again, the person who's hunting odds down will again go with 30. Let's go, yeah, we'll keep it at 30. I want to keep the money essentially close together if we can. So we'll go 30 here to win 15. This person just going to play a straight up $10 don't pass. And that's it. No hedging here. We're out. Looking for a 7 for both players. There's a 5-1-6. There's a 5-1-6 again. Repeater. There's the boxcars, the midnight. And there's our 3-1-4 point made. So we'll reset our counters here, and both players lose a little bit of ground, which is unfortunate. Now we're on a new trend here. This person gets paid there. We come back here, and we're back in action again. Coming out for a new roll on a new trend. This person has to wait for a second point to get made before they come in. There's another 4. Boy, I'm rolling some 4s over here, aren't I? 3-1-4. Again, mathematical play. Let's go for 30. On the don't. There's a 5, a 3-2-5. There's a 6-3-9. There's a first 10 of the day, the 6-4 easy 10. And there's our 7 out, which will be expected. The trend marker goes black. This person's going to get paid 15 for his 30. He's going to lose his pass line bet. Win on the don't pass. That replaces itself. And this all comes back to the rack. And we're basically just kind of inching our way in here. I'm going to turn some of these reds in for reds because I'm out in the bank. There's $50 in red. So this person is just kind of inching along, but if you notice, they're actually in profit. They had their 400, they're like $20 in profit. This person appears lost once. Not a big deal. But now we're trending dark one trend here. Let this thing roll through. New point's going to be 8. Favorable point for the mathematical player. So again, the mathematical player is going to come in for, we'll do 25 again. Single odds back there. Looking for a nice 8 winner. There's a 6-1 or 5-1-6 rather. There's the 8. Okay, so we've hit our point. Trend marker changes. That person gets paid $30. So like we talked about yesterday, let's put that in the rack. Now we're told this is all profit for this person. We talked about this yesterday. If you're trending or if you're looking for the fallacy person, remember the fallacy talk from yesterday? It can take a while to get in. What this person is seeing is a lot of chop, right? We've seen a ton. This is actually a really good view on what chop looks like. We can't get 2 in a row of anything. Nothing's happening. The mathematical player actually, luckily, is on the chop. He's winning every single time the chop changes. He happens to be on the right thing because the math is working out the way the math should work out in today's rollout. So this person is actually doing really good with the chop. A lot of times that chop goes against you and you lose every time in the chop. This person actually having a good day. This person up here is just patient, right? We're not going to burn our small bankroll. Again, you're talking about a person here who's playing a $25 table with a $400 budget. They're not going to burn or put that budget at risk until they see a trend forming. And that's why they have to be patient. If you're going to go that route, patience is going to be a thing for sure that you have to be concerned about. So let's come back out again. We're only in one positive trend so far. Let's see what our new point is going to be, a 9. Okay, the last time the 9 seemed to work out on the don't side. We'll do it again. We'll go 30 to win 20 here on the don't. for the mathematical player, that's going to be a 6-2-8 on our second shot here. We're not seeing the monster roll at all either. We're seeing a bunch of average length, ugly-ish kind of rolls here. There's a 5-1-6. Very, very typical. This is what I would call probably the most statistically relevant roll I've ever done in my life in front of you all. Usually my rolls break it for some reason or another. There's 3 6s on this shot. It's pretty good, actually. There's a 6, 3, 9. And again, we're in the chop here, it looks like. So that turns our trend marker black. We lose our 30 on that don't pass. Puck is off. So the chop got him that time. 1, 3, 4. New point's going to be a 4. That's favorable. Let's lay 30. This is purely an odds play here. Now, we're not going anywhere up near the box yet. And the reason why I'm not coming up in the box, I just mentioned, because we're getting so few box number hits. I mean, we've had a couple of times where I've had a few 6s in a row and whatever, but I'm not seeing the length of roll up here that warrants me putting anything at risk. So not doing that for sure yet until I see something good. There's an 8, 6, 2, 8. There's the 3, 1, 4. Look at that. 3, 1, 4. Point is made. Trend marker now blends white. This person's now gotten chopped twice. Unfortunate, but that happens. Here we go, coming out. There's a 10, a 6, 4, 10. We're gonna go right after it again, right? We're gonna say, well, feels like we should be mathematically in a good spot here to win on this 10, even if it's only 15 bucks. And there it is. There's the 5, 2, 7. That'll change our trend watcher back to black. That 30 is going to win 15 bucks. Back to the rack we go, and we're coming back out. Interesting how choppy this table is. There's a point winner, or a pass line winner, but we're hedged. No effect here. How choppy this table is. How many times have you been to a table that's this choppy and gotten your ass kicked, right? This player here is going so conservative. Like, this is like not even playing. But again, waiting until the table turns in a direction is what they're looking for. And there's no direction. This is like being in a rowboat in the ocean with no sail. It's just going where the tide takes it. And right now it's going back and forth and all cattywampus. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So we're on the 8. We'll, again, mathematically take our odds behind the 8. There's another 4. I think I've rolled like 11 4s today. That is breaking probability. There's a 3, 2, 5. There's a 6, 4, 10, easy 10. 10 the easy way. And there is our 8. So again, the chop, right? This goes from red to green, basically. We're going to win 30. For the odds back here. We're going to lose our don't pass bet. We're going to get paid on the pass line, and that moves up. And now this person's back in the rack. Puck is off, and off we go again. We'll do another couple. I want to get this guy at least one bet. I think he's bet one time this entire play here today. There's a 4, 1, 5. And I think, again, we're going to go with 30 to win 20 here on the don't, because it just seems like this table is so choppy, number one, and that is a mathematical good play good bet to make. As Greg points out, we are 3-2 favorites here, so we're going to do it. This time we get burned by it, but good news for this guy, we get to play. That's 2 points hit in a row. You will lose this. The puck will be off. Now we're going to come out here again. We'll come out with a small play. Just a $10 pass line bet, essentially, for this person. We're hedging the result with the exception of a $10 cap. So at a $25 table, this player, which is in the front spot here, is basically making a $10 pass line bet. We have a come out 8, which is favorable. That's good. So player on the math side, again, we'll just make a $25 pass line odds bet. This first player, looking for a win. Let's get that 8 to pay. There's a hard 10. That's 2 hard ways in a row. If you're so inclined to see that trend, there's a 4, 2, 6, 2 by 4, the lumber. There's a 3, 1, 4 again. Rolling some, these blue dice are rolling some 4s. There's a hard, oh, I didn't mark the point. Sorry, the point was 8, right? There's the boxcars. There's the 8. Both players win a little bit. Now, the way this works, again, the don't passes lose. The pass lines win. Whoops. And that odds bet back there will win. Okay, this person here, we'll leave that $25 there. They'll stay in action. This person's gonna bring it all back. Okay, that's 3 in a row now, right? This person here may decide to press a little bit. A little bit of same bet and up a unit. There we go, right? Puck is off. We're still trending in this good direction, which is great. Another 8, hard way, square pair. Same bets, right? We're gonna go with a $25 odds bet. This person stays at a $15 straight bet. We're gonna mark the 8 up. And again, I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to come in this direction just yet. There's not enough action up here. This person at this point might decide this is the time. Let's see if we see one more box number. This trend better might say we're seeing a little bit more positive action, and we'll go through the come, don't come. There's a 6, 2, 8 out of the gate right there, which is awesome. So we're going to get paid 15 and 30 here for this guy and lose that don't. This guy loses his don't. He gets paid on the pass line, and he gets paid $30 behind the line. He'll replace that bet. He'll replace that bet and rack his winnings. This player also racks their winnings. This player goes up another unit. Now we're betting at the $20 level on a $10 table. This person here is still running odds. 4 in a row, by the way. So now it's time to maybe start coming up in here a little bit. There's a 5, 4, 9. Okay. Greg says we're going to go with a $30 don't bet on the 9. 9 is still strong against the 7, or 7 is still strong against the 9 here. This player has increased their bet each time by 1 unit, 1 small unit up. It's time for them to do this. We're going to come in here with a $30 come and a $25 don't come. Trying to get $10 more in positive action up here. Now, we're still at risk, right? This thing here could still get beat by the 11 or the 7. There's no, the 7 will be fine. Actually, we're fine here. The 7 or 11 will win a little bit. That bet's going to be okay. Here we go. It's going to be a 6, a 5, 1, 6. That couldn't have worked out any better. Okay. Don't come goes to the 6. The come bet moves to the 6. Now, again, there's $35 on that 6. This effectively is a $10 bet on the 6. We're a low limit gambler here. We're not bringing our whole paycheck in. We're looking for a $10 table here. So we're going to leave this bet where it is. I'm not going to stack odds on this because, again, I'm trying to turn a $25 table into a $10 table. And to put odds on that breaks my bankroll in this situation. You could, for sure, go up here with at least $10 in odds or 20 or whatever. The math says you should because it beats the house edge a little bit. But again, low bankroll, we're trying to make a $25 table a $10 table, and that's what that bet does. So we're good here. There's going to be a 5, 3, 8, which nobody is on. That's fine. There's going to be a 4, 2, 6, 2 by 4. So what happens here, this don't pass bet will lose. This come bet wins 25, 35 for a net win of $10. Let's do it again. Another $25 come or $35 come bet, 25 in the don't. We're going to rack that $10 profit. What this person is do it again and keep it simple. That's a nice little thing that could happen to you here. We're going to win a quarter on the don't. We're going to lose our $35 here. So that actually costs that person what they just won. It is what it is. We'll put this back in the come. We're going to go with, again, 35 bucks. Looking for a 9 or a 7 here. It's going to go back to the 6 again. Great. Don't come there. Come here again. That come bet, I'll spread it out. It's 35 bucks. Again, turning a $10 or $25 table into a $10 table. That's the point of this. I'm not going odds here. Although the math says you should, we're not doing it. Again, we're trying to keep bankroll budget in view here. So we hit the 9. All the don't passes are going to lose. So unfortunately, the mathematical player lost a little bit on that one. Both players will win on the, I got to get some more reds here. Win on the pass line bets. This player happens to win an extra 20 because they had their $20 in action. Now, let's bring all this back. That's going to be our 5th win in a row on the pass line, by the way, if you're keeping score. Let's go ahead and put this out. We're going to go now increase it to 50. We've won 3 in a row. We went from 10 to 15 to 20, now to 25 bucks on the pass line. We're inching our way up. Again, playing that with profits. The 6 come bet and the 6 don't come bet are still in play for the come out roll. So 6 here actually works out really good for everybody. And there it is, 516. That's beautiful. We lose this. We win here. So again, we can rack all this up. Let's get in the rack. Point's going to be 6. That's a good looking bet right there. This guy here is going to go again, 25 behind. Now we're looking for the 6 again. Oh, I should have a come don't come in there. My fault. Because of where we're going, I would have done it. I'm going to go back and bet in arrears from this person's rack. We're going to go come don't come to the 9, don't come behind the 9. One time in action. Just have one bet. I'm not going to go nuts. Again, low bankroll. 538. 325. 516. That's the point being hit, which is good for everybody. This person wins 2 and loses 1. This person here wins 1 and a little bit and loses the don't. The 9 is still a thing for us. Oh shit, I combined all their money. This person here won 3 of those. This guy here had 2 and 1. Oh shit, sorry, I gotta get myself back. He had that and won that. This guy had this and won that, right? We took his don't already, he pays that. That's right. Sorry, I had the money screwed up. This goes back to the rack for this player. I think I might have done that before too. Let's bring all this money back. We're gonna kill the video here. This goes to this player here. I'm gonna bring these bets down. I know we can't, but we're basically out of time on the video, so I'm gonna bring it like this. And here's where we ended up with these 2 players. Let's actually add this up. It's gonna be interesting. 5. There's 75 bucks. Plus 20. This player here, there's 50. So the net result here is that the trend player only played for a little bit. He played in that hot streak and basically won 75, 85, 95 bucks. He bought him for 400 and won 95 bucks. That's a pretty solid day's work, frankly. And he waited a long time to get there. The player who was playing the math the whole time bought him for the same 400 and he won 120. So a little bit more, and he was in action the whole time. Very interesting, for sure, right? Let's go back to the screen here. Let's talk about what we saw. Waylon, I see your comment there. I'm gonna put your comment up first. I had to work backwards from the comments here. Waylon says the 6, 8, 410 ladder would be up about 3K. Probably, but again, the point today, let me turn the light off. The point today was not to make a lot of money, right? The point today was to demonstrate 2 things. One is, how can you turn a $25 table into a $10 table? So we did that with Greg's Andre system, right? By taking the do we don't with a little bit of spiff on top of cap, the cap becomes what's at risk. So if you use the Andre instead of attacking, as Greg says, a cold table, and using the Andre to lessen the force of a high limit table, it's a really good way to play that. And that player inched in. They waited till the trend formed, got in the trend, and it happened to be a 5 or 6 point trend. That might have been a fire bet. I don't even know if it was or not. They got into a great trend and won pretty good, right? They laddered their wins up, and they put only wins at risk, right? Not until I won 30 bucks did I put $10 into the come, don't come system to win a little bit extra there. That was actually a pretty cool little play. The other player just followed the book, right? Used do we don't to get in, and who cares about the come out roll, and just played favorable odds the whole way through, and also made money. They both made within 25 bucks of each other. I think that's actually really cool, the way that works. Yeah, so Duracell, you're talking about are you talking about Greg here? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Hopefully you're talking about Greg, because Greg needs to get monetized for sure. Yeah, definitely, to Duracell's point, appreciate the support, right? I see you're also keeping the like track. Did you see that I pulled a Duracell during Same Bet Show last night? I said, I'm Duracell, I'm Duracelling it because I was calling for likes during Dave's show. So anyway, you're awesome. I love that you do this every day. And everybody, I'm asking what's going on here. Mr. E. Krause says, don't be afraid to take odds in the pass line of Martingale 3 times. Again, today particularly not about the strategy you play at the line, right? Today was about how many times do you win? And again, trying to keep those 2 players' bets about the same size. I mean, I'm taking $30 behind the lines on the 6 and 8, so it does skew the results a little bit. The odds bets that I placed were big, but the rewards were low. Trying to keep the $10 player and the other player about the same financially. I didn't want to go all in on double, triple, 10x odds. It wasn't the point of today's show. Today's show was just about trend catching and mathematical play side by side, so you can see, A, what it looks like to play mathematically like that, and B, what does it look like to actually wait and be patient for a trend. The rolls today actually worked out good and helped me make the point, I think, which was really, really cool to see the rolls kind of help out what I was talking, right? And yeah, Waylon, he said, well, they both could win. They both can win. It just depends on where you are, right? The thing was today, we didn't play both opposite each other like you're suggesting that I do. I will play the do and the don't opposite with a ladder at some point. I do want to see, I'm curious how that's going to work out live. I think your theory is sound. And like I say, when you're doing the ladder type of things, the way that Waylon wants me to do this, by the way, folks, is to do like a one person playing the pass, one person playing the don't pass. And as you know, Waylon likes to say, on the wins you go up, or on the losses you go up, on the wins you parlay, and then you come back down to base. And depending on where the losses occur, in a choppy table that might work really well versus a table that's trending too much might hurt you. But the choppy table could work really good in that situation. I think that might actually be kind of cool. So anyway, hope you got something out of that. I think the Andre used here in this way is a big help to get a small bankroll player into action on the big table. I know that's not the reason why Greg invented the Andre. That system is designed for other purposes, but I reused it to do this because I think it's a smart play for us here to get into this conversation. And again, trends versus math. Math won today. Math won by 15 or 20 bucks. A little higher bet size, but they did win, and that's interesting for sure. You definitely get more action. You get to pay attention more. You're doing more things when you're doing that. The trend better had to wait, and then they made some aggressive plays as they went through it. And again, some of that's feel, right? I go to the come, don't come thing when I felt like we were getting more consistent box number action. That was the time for me to go in there. And I waited until I saw it. And that's, I think, I hate to say it like this, that's the savvy of a veteran player, I guess, right? You wait until the conditions are right before you do certain things. And it just happened to work out. The dice played well today. So that's it, folks. Happy, what is today? Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. Again, we'll do more of this tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk more about the come bets. I promise we'll get into that some. And Friday will just be another like this. We're just going to roll out for the whole time. We'll roll out a more elaborate strategy and just play for 45 minutes. So with that said, have a good day all. I will see you in the lives later today with whoever's going out there. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks again, everybody. God bless you.